music. Coming up here on the Raiders Report, we're going to get into the Cliff Notes version of everything that Pete Carroll and John Spytek said today at the intro press conference. I'll tell you this. It fired me up. I wanted to hear Pete Carroll. I wanted to hear John Spies. A lot of the things that they said was the right mindset, whoever the dude. That scream Raiders. My cousin Andrew texted me and he goes, "Were you that crazy dude that yell, Raiders in the background?" I promise you it was not me, but you got to love Pete. He had a good answer to it. He's quick-witted. He looks great for 73 years old. If you're always looking for Raiders news and rumors, make sure you click that subscribe. Zachria Sport. Notifications are turned on. My promise is this: when the silver and black do something, we're going to let you know about it. Maybe Pete's been using Panda subs. 'Cause he looks good, dude, for 73. And if y'all want to get your hands on some of that, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start with Pete Carroll, and then I'm going to go to everything that I thought around Spytek, just because Carroll was the one that got majority of the questions. And I also love that Pete wasn't afraid to kind of act like a dad throughout that press conference where, if somebody didn't raise their hand to give the question, he was like, "Can you please raise your hand? I'm trying to see what you're doing." So let's go to the first thing that I love, that Carroll said. He said that he understands the spy-tech relationship, where he understands what their job is in place. And one of my biggest fears when the Raiders brought in Josh McDaniels, one of the reasons why I didn't love the idea of bringing back John Gruden was because at the end of the day, it was Gruden's decision. At the end of the day, it was Josh McDaniels' decision. And we have ran organizations like that in the past. And it simply hasn't worked out when you bring in somebody like Carroll that has his thought processes, and then you bring in somebody like SPYC that thinks the way that he does. They made it very clear to me that they are going to be a great team, and this is an organization that needs a great team from the top down to the bottom. Next thing that Carroll really talked about was just how valuable having somebody like Tom Brady is. And when you have a leader like Tom Brady, everybody in that organization, again, from the front office to the players, they respect that guy. And when you have somebody that is just thinking on that type of level where, we're talking about athletes on the Kobe train, the, Michael Jordan train, Tom Brady train, and the fact that we're going up against somebody like Patrick Mahomes, when you have somebody like Brady, it's a huge advantage to you. Let's go to another thing that I love, that Pete Carroll said. It's not a rebuild. This is going to be a team that they're going to go out there. They're going to try to win right away. He did say that usually that can take 2 to 3 years, which is why I'm telling you right now, Carroll is going to be the Raiders' head coach for the next 3 seasons. Guaranteed, but he also used the word competitive, and the way that they're going to build a roster is they're going to want to go out there and compete. Compete is a word that is going to be, I think, that word we keep bringing up, because for the Raiders to put out on social media, compete and put buy and bold. It seems to be a word that he's thrown out there a lot. He wants to build around a quarterback, is what he said. And nobody really asked the QB question, and I get it. He probably can't really give that answer, but he did make it known. And he made it very clear that in order to win in the National Football League, you need to have a quarterback. Pete understands that. Pete also said that he's a good job at being able to find QBs, and not a lot of other people thought. When I listened to the way Pete Carroll talked about it, it made it sound like to me that it's not going to be Aiden O'Connell that they're going to be able to look in because of Spytek experience, because of Tom Brady, because of his own experience, that there's going to be a new quarterback in Las Vegas. So here's going to be the pin comment on today's show. Who's going to be the Raiders quarterback next season? If you were a betting man, who are you putting your chips on the table for? My answer is going to be coming up after this YouTube ad break. If we're making guesses, then let's make an educated guess on Russell Wilson. And I only say that because of the amount of rumors, the amount of speculation that has already been floated out there around Carroll, and also the way that Tom Brady thinks in terms of how to build a quarterback. He wants to have somebody maybe sit behind for a year or two, develop a